No matter where you come from, no matter where you're going, here's a place where you can take comfort in the knowing that whether if you've come to stay a while or just passing through, this door is open to you. Come and let's be silent. Come and share a hug. Come, let's pray together. Come, love and be loved. From the bliss out to the turned out, from the pampered to the abused, this door is open to you. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. The God in us recognizes the God in you. The God in you. Whether you're black or white, gay or straight, Christian, Buddhist or Jew, this door is open to you.
Good morning, Unity Renaissance. Hey, please stand and join us. We're going to sing together.
Everybody, get up off your
Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one, one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah.
Let's do that again.
Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've done to be. We are love, we are one, one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, hey, hey, yeah, yeah.
Here we go.
Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Hey, 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 hey. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one, one big family. Hey, 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 hey.
Let's make a joyful sound. Ready?
Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Hey, hey, hey. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah.
Give yourselves a hand. That's a yeehaw family.
I heard that, yeehaw. Well, that is a yeehaw to see all of you this morning. Good morning. My name is Ann DeMichael. I'll be your ministerial host today. Reverend Paula is recovering and rejuvenating from a knee surgery that she had on Friday. So she's with us viewing online. Let's give her a wave. Yeah, we love you, Reverend Paula. We look forward to seeing you next week. And so I'd like to take a moment to welcome all of you here to Unity Renaissance. We're glad that you have chosen to be with us this morning. What a blessing that is for all of you sitting here in the sanctuary and for all of you at home viewing from the comfort of your chair. We invite you to get off that chair. Come on in next Sunday. So just know, whether you are here for the first time or you're here for the 100th time, our hearts are open to receive you, and we're glad that you're with us this morning. You know, unity is an approach of practical, positive, progressive Christianity, and we go by the teachings of Jesus and the power of prayer. Very important to us here at Unity Renaissance. Unity honors all the universal truths and all the spiritual paths. And we're glad that you're sharing with us your spiritual path. What a blessing that is. And just know that each and every one of you are unique, divine expression of spirit. And we're glad that you're on this journey with us. So I want to take a moment, a really exciting moment here. Guess who's going to be our guest speaker today? None other than Reverend Richard. Well, I want to share the title of his talk. It's entitled, The One Thing. So I thought about that, and I wondered, what is the one thing that we may not know about Reverend Richard? Well, that is a loaded question, isn't it? But I'm going to take a moment to tell you something I found out. Reverend Richard played for the Florida Symphony Orchestra. Guess what instrument he played? Trumpet. Who knew that? All right. Well, Reverend Richard, we love you, we appreciate you, and we're going to give you some love right now in advance.
Anybody hot? Okay.
We are a vibrant spiritual community, and one of the ways that we really anchor into that vibrancy is our belief in our vision and mission. So I invite you, just take a deep breath for a moment. As we get ready to recite this together, let it really touch your heart. Together, our vision. A spiritually awakened world living in peace, love, and joy. And let's now anchor into our mission. We transform lives that transform the world. Wow, you said that with spiritual authority. Yahoo. So let's take a moment just to go into prayer together. I invite you to get comfortable in your chair, and if it is comfortable for you, to close your eyes. Or perhaps to pick a spot and allow yourself to have a soft gaze. And as we go into prayer together, we remember that we are the light of truth. We are the light of love. We are the light of peace. All of that starts within us. So whatever is happening in our community and the communities of the world, we show up as light, as love, as peace. Spirit through you, Spirit through magnificent you. So everyone you come in contact with this week, remember, you are the light of love, of peace, of joy, of understanding, and that comes across to each and every soul you interact with. Thank you, Spirit, for this opportunity to come together, to let our light shine in wonderful and glorious ways. We are a beacon of love and light, and so it is. Amen.
Are y'all feeling magnificent? All right, good. Let's stand up and affirm it together. 4. Used to have a hard time saying this, but now I can say it loud and clear. I hope you too. Even if you don't feel it. Say it loud and clear, right?
I am magnificent.
Let's hear this.
Yeah, I am magnificent. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I used to think that I should deny it. Now every day I magnify it. I am magnificent. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Magnificent me.
Every day,
In every way. Every day. In every way. I am magnificent.
someone across the crowded room, let us share our divinity salute. Together, the divine in me greets the divine in you, and we serve and celebrate together for the glory of God.
Are y'all ready to really sing now?
I am magnificent. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Magnificent. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I used to think that I should deny it.
should deny it. Now every day
I magnify it.
magnify
I
it.
am magnificent.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Let's hear it.
Magnificent me. I used to think that I should deny it. Now every day I magnify it. I am magnificent.
Get ready for it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right, everybody, say it loud and proud. Y'all ready?
Magnificent me.
Yeah.
In every way I am magnificent. In every way I am magnificent.
In every way.
I am magnificent.
Oh, do you believe it? Do you believe it?
What a way to start the morning off. Woo! Good morning, Unity Renaissance. And again, welcome, welcome, welcome. The first Sunday in June, we are excited because so many wonderful things are going to be happening today. So don't leave out early because in the end, you're going to miss a treat. Stay tuned. My name is Margaret Jenkins, and I am privileged to be your platform host for today. And I'm so happy to be serving with the Reverend Ann Michael, part of the dynamic duo that's she and I. But she's been gone for a while, so we're so happy you're back. Today, our daily word is truth. Please join me in our affirmation together. The light of truth shines in my heart. Like a kaleidoscope, shifting patterns of dazzling colors, my life is always changing. Some of the changes I like, and others I may not like. But I accept the changes nonetheless. I enjoy pleasurable moments while learning and growing through the more unpleasant ones. No matter where I find myself along the spectrum of this human experience, I take comfort in spiritual truth. God is changeless, my rock and my refuge in times of struggle, and the wings that lift me in times of ease and bliss. I remain steady and calm, even as I navigate life's inevitable changes, finding lasting comfort in the truth of God as absolute goodness. As I travel along my unique path, the steady light of truth shines from within me. Our scripture verse today comes from John, the 2nd chapter, verse 8, and it reads, "Yet I am writing to you a new commandment that is true in him and in you, because the darkness is passing away and the true light is already shining." If you would like prayer support today, we have many options available. For those who are here in our sanctuary, and we're so happy you are, we have 2 lovely prayer chaplains available to pray with you after the service, Miss Donna and Miss Grace. And they are going to be in the chapel right outside the door across from the bookstore. You may also fill out a prayer request at the prayer table outside by the chapel, or you can submit a prayer request at our website, unityrenaissance.org. You may also call Silent Unity, which is our 24-hour, 24/7 prayer ministry, and the number you would dial is 1-800-669-7729. Again, that's 1-800-669-7729. And now would you please rise and join us for the Lord's song.
Holy Creator, we praise your name. Your will in heaven and earth the same. Supply our needs, Lord, from day to day. Let your forgiveness light our way. Lead us away from temptation's home. Deliver us, Lord, into your fold. For all the kingdom, power, and praise, with you began and with you stays. Holy Creator.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we have also forgiven our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever.
Power and praise, with you began and with you stays.
Amen.
Amen. Amen. You're going to sing from there today. Okay. Much better.
You will do amazing things with the choice each new day brings. And with every step you take, bless the progress that you make. The reason you live is found in every gift you give. So love your life, love your dreams. You will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things. Amazing.
Lily Scott. Well, y'all look great today. So during the lockdown back in 2020, for almost a whole year, Paula and I moved our dining room table into the living room and our coffee table into the dining room, and we took up jigsaw puzzling. We did 350s, we did 500s, we did 1500s, which we don't recommend, they're maddening. But most of them were 1,000 piece. A lot of them ended up here. Many of you took them home with you after we were done with them. We've never done the same puzzle twice, so once you do them, they're done. And, we would always open up that box of a fresh puzzle, and we'd pour it out on the table, and there's that smell of fresh puzzle dust. Yeah. And then we would look down, and there would be a pile of 1,000 pieces on the table, and it looked so daunting, okay, until we snapped together those first 2 pieces, usually an edge, and then we were on our way. We'd be like, 2 down, 998 to go. And then we would start chipping away at that puzzle until eventually we had a beautiful landscape of a French countryside, or a beautiful photo of the Eiffel Tower, or of a French cafe. We did a lot of French puzzles because Paula loves France. Then when we would finish, we'd put that last piece in, and then we'd pat it with our hands, make sure it was good and flat. We'd walk around it and pat ourselves on the back a little bit, how good we did. And then, like those monks, those Zen monks who do the sand mandalas, intricate, they work on them for weeks. And then when they're done, they say a little prayer over them and just sweep it away. I would take a photo of the puzzle, and then we would just start breaking it up, putting it back in the box, and get ready for the next one. We'd have to give our puzzle brains a couple days to rest, and we'd go into the next one. I know you're wondering, why the heck is he telling me this? So, because it reminded me of a lot of my spiritual journey, okay, especially since becoming a minister, and really wanting to embody these principles that I was now licensed and ordained to teach. And so I created in my mind this image of a perfect minister, okay, and I had a great model to go by with Paula. I wanted to always be in integrity, a great listener, to have delivered great, powerful talks every Sunday, to be patient, to be kind, to meditate, to read ravenously and learn. Well, on and on. About 4 years later, needless to say, I'm a little disappointed with my progress, but not too bad. I've made a lot of progress, and then whenever I do, I think, yes, 1 down, 999 to go. Like that puzzle, it looked like 1,000 things that I needed to fix about myself, 1,000 things to create that picture of myself that I had made up in my mind. So, I used to, and I'd find something I wanted to work on, and I would work on that thing, and I would work on that thing, and I'd work on that thing, and if it got better, then I'd work on the next thing, work on the next thing. And then one meditation came to me. Why don't I work on the cause of that thing? So I would get the thing I wanted to work on, and then I would meditate and pray on what is the cause, what's causing this? And then that would fix all of that. And then I would like, okay, so what's causing this? And then I would take one more step, and I'd fix that, and then that would fix that. And then I'd say, well, what's causing this? And then I would get to the cause of that, root problem of that, and then all of this other stuff would fall in place. And then I'd get to the root cause of that, and all this other stuff would fall in place. And it reminded me of one of my favorite movies, City Slickers. Everybody seen that? All right, so you know where I'm going. Mitch was Billy Crystal, and he was a corporate guy. He was trying to get out into the, under the stress of corporate life. He was having marriage problems. He wasn't happy. So he thought he'd get a few of his friends and go to a dude ranch for a couple of weeks. And this is where Curly, played by Jack Palance, was the lead cattle rustler, legendary cattle rustler. And in the most famous scene, Curly and Mitch found themselves together, riding along. And, Mitch was opening up his heart about his life, wondering if he'd ever find happiness, worried about his marriage. And then Jack Palance, he got an Academy Award for his part. He's got the cigarette hanging out of his mouth. And he's got his one eye squinting like this. He's going, you city folk, you spend 50 weeks tying knots in your rope, and then you come up here for 2 weeks and expect them all to just be untied. He said, you want to know the secret to life? And Mitchell's like, yeah, sure. And then Curly holds his finger up. He goes, this. And Mitch is like, a finger? And Curly goes, one thing. One thing. You focus on that, everything else don't mean poop. And Mitch is like, that's great, but what is the one thing? And Curly says, that's what you got to figure out. And scene. Well, okay, so I'm here to tell you this morning, I have found the one thing. And and the great news is that I think it's universal. I think it's going to apply to all of you guys. So I wanted to share it with you. So as we get down to our cause and effects, we finally get down to the one thing. Just like Curly said, the one thing that's at the root of all of this, the one thing that could help me keep my commitments, the one thing that would finally get me exercising, the one thing that would put me in touch with my inner self, the one thing that would get me eating right and not looking outside myself for validation, the one thing that would finally cure me of my perfectionism. Okay? I know you're on the edge of your seat. You're on the edge of your seats. Okay, so here it is. And by the way, this one thing influences every decision you make in your life, from the big stuff like what do I want here to offer the world, down to what am I going to have for dinner tonight. Influences every decision you make. Okay, so here it is. And by the way, this is completely under your control because you created it. Okay? Okay, I'm sorry, here it is. And it's not your self-esteem. Okay? It is your sense of self-worth. And I say it's not your self-esteem because the two are very different, although they a lot of times they get used synonymously. So here's a definition of self-esteem I found from a man named Sam Wolf. He blogs for a website called The Happy Place, which I looked around. It's a very interesting website. He says this is self-esteem. Self-esteem is the manner in which we evaluate ourselves. It is our internal assessment of our qualities and attributes. Okay? In other words, our self-esteem is how we compare ourselves to others. It's a litmus test against how successful we feel, how loved and respected we feel. Self-worth, this is Sam Wolf again, self-worth is the belief that you are lovable and valuable regardless of how you evaluate your traits. So you see, your self-esteem can change from day to day depending on how successful you are, depending on your outward validation, but your self-worth never changes. It remains the same through all. Your self-esteem relies on outside validation, whereas your self-worth comes completely from inside. But this is my favorite, okay, this is it. This is from a psychologist, a psychiatrist named, let me find her name here. Sorry about that. Oh, is it up there? Oh, Christine Hibbert, there it is. Yeah, this is professional show business. I'm just kidding, it's not show business. Okay, so she says, self-esteem is what we think and feel about ourselves. Wait, where am I? Holy smokes. I'm just going to read it. Self-esteem is what we think and feel and believe about ourselves. Self-worth is recognizing that I am greater than all of those things. It's a deep knowing that I am of value, that I am lovable, necessary to this life, and of incomprehensible worth. And she goes on to say that it's possible to feel high self-esteem and still feel convinced, not convinced that you're lovable and worthy. She says self-esteem doesn't last or work without self-worth. That's why I believe the pursuit of self-esteem is a myth. So you get that? What she's saying is seek ye first self-worth, all right? And self-esteem will be added to you, the one thing. So I want to begin by remembering that self-esteem, self-worth, like I mentioned earlier, it's completely man-made, okay? It's most likely originated in the early Christian church. Probably the biggest sin of the early church was to deem some people worthy of God's grace and some people unworthy of God's grace. There's nothing divine or godly about that idea. First of all, it's dualistic. So it doesn't even exist in the mind of God. You are worthy of all of the kingdom of heaven simply because you're born. Who in here was born? That's almost everybody. Okay. As I look around. You're made in the image and likeness of your Creator. So you came into this world with sacred worth. And no one can take that away from you. Only you can take it away from you. So if self-esteem is how you feel about yourself, your self-worth is how much you feel you deserve. It's how much you feel you deserve in life. And this is where we find the self-worth is that one thing at the root of our manifestation process in life as well. Think of your self-worth as the aperture through which your good flows, okay? If you're living from a place of unworthiness, it's like taking a thimble up to that ocean of abundance and asking God to fill that up for you. This is all you want. This is all you deserve. When in reality, you could pull a tanker truck up or 10 tanker trucks up and ask God to fill it, and God would fill it for you. Remember, it's God's good pleasure to give you the kingdom, okay? But you have to do your part, okay? You don't walk into a dark room and just sit there and wait for the lights to come on, right? You have to do something. You have to flip the switch. And there's a great example of this in the New Thought parable of the prodigal son that Jesus told us. Now, we all know the story. The youngest son asked for his father's inheritance. And this was strange because the father hadn't died yet. Usually you get your inheritance after the man dies. But you know, the father never questioned him. He never said, well, what have you done to earn your inheritance? Have you been a good son? Nothing. Without question, he gave it to him. And as we know, the young son ran off to a foreign land, squandered his inheritance. And then a famine came, and he ended up just being starving and just wishing he could at least just go home and be a servant at his father's house. So he headed back home, and he was quite surprised at what he found. His father welcomed him with open arms. In fact, he welcomed him in a big way. He wanted a big party, kill the fatted calf, put the robe on him and the ring, the family ring on him, and celebrate with him. You see, the young son never fell out of favor with his father. Not when he asked for his inheritance, or not when he squandered it and returned home. However, the older brother, he had his own issues with self-worth. Okay, when he said, for all these years I've been working like a slave for you, and I've never disobeyed your command, yet you have never given me even a young goat so that I might celebrate with my friends. Now, do you think this father who gave his youngest son his inheritance, welcomed him home after he squandered it, would have denied his oldest son a goat to celebrate with his friends? No, of course not. So what's the difference? What's the difference between the two brothers in the way they approached their father? The youngest son asked. He did something. He flipped the switch. He somehow saw himself worthy to ask and to accept. The older brother was in thimble consciousness. Okay? He was in a dark room just waiting for the lights to come on. Now, I believe Jesus' healings were also about self-worth. I think when he told the people he healed that your faith has made you whole, he was really telling them, you have seen yourself as whole. When he told the man at the pool of Bethesda, when he asked him, do you want to be healed? I think he was really asking him, do you feel worthy to be healed? He'd been there for 38 years. It was a logical question to ask him. But Jesus showed him, you're born, so you're worthy to be healed. Now, research has shown that people who have low self-worth are often more vulnerable to certain illnesses and mental health, and because they don't feel that they can control their own lives. And the only thing left is external control. Okay, so they sought that out in Jesus. And Jesus showed them how to release their own power of healing through their faith and their self-worth. Okay? So now that we know the one thing, let's look at how we can cultivate that sense of self-worth. So I've come up with 5 things that I'm working on. This is how the first 5, because there's probably many, many more than this. 5 ways to improve your self-worth. The first one is divine expectancy. Expectancy. The great Unity teacher, Eric Butterworth, he wrote Spiritual Economics, a great book. He said that there's more to the manifestation process than just our thoughts and intentions. This is what he said in his book. You do not draw to you what you want. You do not draw to you what you pray for, not even what you have faith in. And he says you will always draw to you what you actually expect. You have to expect it. If you've been affirming for something with little or no results, don't just keep affirming harder and longer. Check in on your expectancy around that desire. When you buy a lottery ticket, do you expect to win? I know I don't. That's why I don't buy them. It's just like, it would be useless. But if you take a little deeper look, you'll find that you can only expect what you think you deserve. You can only expect to draw to you what you think you deserve. And guess what? What you think you deserve comes from your self-worth, the one thing underlying your manifestation process. So Jesus said, ask knowing you will receive and you will receive. Try saying, ask expecting to receive and you will receive. That has a lot more energy. It has a different energy to it, doesn't it? Ask expecting. Expectation is an emotional vibration. Whereas knowing, it's very cognitive. It feels like in here. But expectation, it's very emotional. And that's what goes out and finds that vibration to tell the universe this is what you want when you expect it. Okay, so number one, divine expectancy. Number two, this advice, see yourself as wondrously made. It's advice from the oldest known language on the planet. Right? The Sanskrit word for prayer literally means to see yourself as wondrously made. Okay, this begins to help you to live your life from your divine center. Right? How could you see yourself as wondrously made and not feel worthy? Reverend Linda Martella-Whitsitt, who wrote her book, How to Pray Without Talking to God, and she also wrote Divine Audacity, which is a class that Reverend Ann and I are going to be teaching coming up very soon. She says that the only purpose to prayer is to realize your divine potential so that you may live more fully from it. In other words, the only purpose to prayer is to see yourself as wondrously made. And then you begin to see yourself as worthy. Remember, you can't create something you think you don't deserve. Right, number three. This always comes up, doesn't it? Forgive yourself for past mistakes, for past choices. I still tend to beat myself up over some of the decisions I made years ago around my career and how I went about achieving my goals. But holding on to that regret has just been eroding away my sense of self-worth long after those decisions were made. So we have to show ourselves compassion and understanding. You don't have to deny that what you did was wrong or that you could have done better. But what you have to do is renounce its power over you. This frees you from the shame of your past. And it prevents you from feeling unworthy. So in this way, self-forgiveness, self-worth, not only changes your present and your future, but it's also the one thing that can change your past. Number four, separate who you are from what you do. Two completely different things. You can still have goals for yourself, but try not to wrap your identity and worth or value into these things, not even into your successes. I felt unworthy because I thought I'd failed. In my career, I still need to come to the realization that my sense of worthiness was not tied to those things I did. It's not tied to my failures or to my successes. It helped me to stop seeking validation outside of myself. Okay, and the very last thing, give up perfectionism. Give up trying to be perfect. Okay? The drive to be perfect often comes from the need for approval and acceptance. And that who we are we want acceptance that who we are is good enough. We need that from outside validation. And if we fall short of that ideal, we've created that ideal we've created for ourselves, as I did after I became a minister. It can inevitably lead to disappointment. So from this consciousness, we can find it very difficult to feel worthy, even for the tiniest thimble amount of grace. So there's 5 things. Is your self-worth really a choice? Is it really a choice that you make? Well, who else is there judging you? It's not God. Then who? To whom are you being compared as a measurement of your self-worth? And who's doing the comparing? Who else could possibly determine what you think you deserve? There are other people, parents, family members, even some pastors. They may try to tell you that you're not worthy, but guess what? Their faith in you has nothing to do with what you draw into your life. Only your faith in yourself can determine that. So if you feel like you're beating your head against the wall, trying to improve this or quit that or be a better whatever, remember the one thing. Remember the one thing. Remember, you draw to you what you expect. You expect what you think you deserve. And what you think you deserve is determined by your self-worth. So I'm going to leave you with this one kind of mind-blowing idea that came to me, and it blew my mind. What if your self-worth is also the one thing that differentiates us from Jesus? We're told that we're created in the same divine potential as Jesus. So why aren't we walking this earth? Why aren't we all walking this earth as Jesus did? See, Jesus believed he could do anything God could do. If God can heal the sick, I can heal the sick. God can raise the dead, I can raise the dead. Unity co-founder Charles Fillmore said as much himself. And what greater sense of self-worth could you have than to believe you could do whatever God could do? So if we could all bring our self-worth up to that level, expecting to receive, feeling worthy to receive all of God's abundance, and seeing ourselves as wondrously made, surely we could all co-create anything we wanted for ourselves and for this world. So let's take a few moments now for some prayerful meditation. So let's close our eyes, get comfortable. And we usually start our meditations with a big, deep, cleansing breath. And that's because that breath, when we take that breath together, it brings our attention into this very moment and it connects us in consciousness. So as we release that big breath, we just feel ourselves connecting to those around us and becoming one. You often hear us say that we are spiritual beings having a human experience. We live our lives torn between 2 voices, the voice of our human self and the voice of our spiritual self. And I ask you today to choose which one you will serve. Choose this day who you will serve. As we take another breath together, just allow these words to become your words. I am a divine creation of God. I am worthy of all the kingdom of heaven. By divine birthright, I attract to me all that is mine to have. I am lovable. I am worthy. It is God's good pleasure to give me the kingdom. As we enter into a few moments of silence together, I want you to take this little mantra in with you and think of nothing else in the silence. I am wondrously made. I am worthy. I am wondrously made, and I am worthy. In the silence. I'm made in the image and likeness of God. I have divine worth. I see beyond my human limitations. I'm a spiritual being having a human experience. When I say this, I can see the divine within me. I am wondrously made. And it is the Father's good pleasure to give me the kingdom. For this we give thanks, for this realization, for this opportunity to share, and for this time together this morning. We just let our gratitude flow out into the universe to come back to us full of blessings and full of grace. For this we give thanks, and so it is. Amen.
Spirit, flow through me as I open up to be an expression of your unfolding peace. Oh, Spirit, show through me as I open up to be an expression of your unfolding
I'm going to say that again. One thing we know for sure is that we love and appreciate you, Reverend Richard, and your spiritual words of wisdom. So let's just... Wow. All righty. Well, it's that time in our service where we prepare our love offering. Invite you to hold that in your hand. If you happen to be giving by check or cash, that can be deposited in the back. And we have a variety of other ways that you can give also. One of them is via the Tithely app, if you so choose. And one of them is by actually putting into your cell phone the number that you see on the screen, and then you text to that, and it automatically comes to Unity Renaissance again, using your smartphone, texting GIVE to
540-418-1228. Text now.
I just love that. That's one of the joys I have. So let's together do our offertory blessing. If you will, just say it with conviction. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God.
Giving is giving back to you. Giving is giving back to you. Giving is giving back to you. Press down, shaking together, running over. Back in good measure is giving back to you.
Terry, can you turn me down in this monitor, please? Just a little bit.
You guys ready for... Okay, and then turn me up. You guys ready for Little Boyd this morning? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. The dance floor is open.
Sometimes I get to work early, sometimes a little bit late. Boss don't mind when I get there early. When I'm late, he's waiting at the gate. Don't think I'm good enough to talk to me human. Don't think I'm good enough to make my pay. Not long ago I would have thought this was true, and now I'll repeat these words and go about my day. I am good enough for God. I am good enough for God. I am good enough for God, and that's good enough for me. I tell her sweet things when I get home from work, and I buy her presents for no reason at all. But there are times when I forget the rules, and when I do, she won't return my call. Don't think I'm good enough to talk to me human. Don't think I'm good enough, got nothing to say. Not long ago I would have thought this was true, and now I repeat these words and go about my day. I am good enough for God. I am good enough for God. I am good enough for God, and that's good enough for me. Good enough for God. Oh, I am good enough for God. Yes, I am good enough for God. That's good enough for me. Good enough. I'm good enough. Good enough for God. Good enough. I'm good enough. Good enough for God. Bring in the judge and the jury. I used to prosecute myself real good, but then I came up with this conclusion: I am just doing the best that I could. I know I'm good enough, but I'm only human. I know I'm good enough, what more can I say? I am not long ago I thought this was true, and now I repeat these words and go about my day. I am good enough for God. I am good enough for God. I am good enough for God, and that's good enough for me. Hey, I am good enough for God. I am good enough for God. I am good enough for God, and that's good enough for me. One more time, I am good enough for God. Oh, I am good enough for God. I am good enough for God. It's good enough for me. I am good enough for God, yeah. I am good enough for God, yeah. I am good enough for God. That's good enough for me.
That's Boy Black, ladies and gentlemen. And the band, Brother Nick Flores, Lily Scott, David Kennedy, and Aiden on guitar, Aiden Hamilton. Let's give them all a hand.
I feel so well taken care of. Let's not forget Richard, the piano man. Thank you. We want to take a moment to welcome everyone that may be here for the first time or returning for many times. And if you're joining us online for the first time, we welcome you and encourage you to come back many, many times. So right now, if you're in the sanctuary and this is your first visit, if you would raise your hand and put up one finger. Yahoo! Welcome. If you are here for the second time, if you'd hold up two fingers, please. Hold them up high so we can see you. Yes, we have a special gift for you too. And if you are here for the third time, if you would raise your hand all the way in the back. Yay, welcome. Keep coming back. We're so glad to have you with us today.
Woohoo!
Okay, today after our service, our wonderful service, we're going to have a food and fellowship Sunday. You guys know for the first Sunday of the month, we started this year having this food and fellowship, and it has been absolutely wonderful. Today we're going to have hot dogs, hamburger, lots of vegan dishes. It's going to be like a real country hoedown, you know. They're going to have lots of games and fun, and just get to fellowship with your Unity family here. So we hope that you will hang around and join us. We're asking for a $5 donation, but of course, you know the rules at Unity. No one is turned away. So we hope you'll stay and join us this afternoon.
That's going to be a lot of fun. Hey, also want to let you know about an ongoing class that's been happening here at Unity Renaissance on the church grounds. It's Intuition, the Bridge to Your Soul. Mary Roach is the leader for this, the teacher, the instructor, the guide. It's been a wonderful gathering from everything I've heard. This is the last class coming up. There's still time to join in. Just come on Wednesday evening at 7 p.m. All are welcome. Oh, is Mary here today? Mary, come on, stand up for a minute, Mary. We so appreciate you jumping in on that and joining and really being a part of our community in that
Great
way.
class.
Thank you.
And I'm in the class, and we are really learning a lot. So please, if you can, come out on Wednesday night. Okay, guys, Friday, June 17th, we're going to have another Fry Fun Days. And this time, it's going to be bingo trivia. I know there are a lot of you out there who can play and like to play bingo, so we invite you to come out. We're going to be in Myers Hall. We're going to have prizes, popcorn, lemonade, lots of bingo trivia, and we're going to have a special guest appearance. So I know you don't want to miss that. So we're inviting you to please come out on June 17th and play bingo with a spiritual twist. We're sharing. Want to take a moment to tell you about the class that's coming up. Reverend Richard alluded to it in his message, so come on up here also. The thing I love with Divine Audacity is that it is talking about the light of power, the light of strength, the light of understanding, all these wonderful attributes that we have within us and how we can express that in greater ways in our lives. And so that class is coming up on June 22nd. It's Wednesday evenings, 7 o'clock, Zoom only. Zoom only. So we hope you'll sign up, come and join us. I know it's going to be a lot of fun, particularly with this one next to me. So I'm going to
Come in your pajamas.
allow you to share a little bit of your thoughts, Richard.
And you keep your wine down here, okay? And only kill the video like this. I got that down. No, I'm just so looking forward to working with Ann. I love working with you on the remembrance service and everything we've worked on. I'm just really looking forward to this. The Divine Audacity is kind of a new modern interpretation of Charles Fillmore's 12 Powers. You might have heard of the 12 Powers, just something that Charles Fillmore discerned, and it's very unique to Unity. And it's the attributes that we feel, that we give to God, that we feel a part of our own spiritual being. So we're going to tap into all of those during this class. Linda Martellowitz, it's just awesome, and I hope you'll come. I know it'll be life-changing for you.
And the fun part is going to be that Richard will be performing somehow or another music every week, right, Richard?
I promise.
Okay, there we go. All right, let's move
Now that I
on.
know how to keep my commitments.
Yes, that's right. Let's move on to the next announcement.
Thank you. Reverend Paula will be returning next Sunday, and she is going to be delivering another dynamic talk, and it's going to be titled Unjaded. So we would welcome you to come out again next Sunday, and following the service, stay for our community forum and learn all about the current state of our community and ask questions of our Board of Trustees. We invite everyone that's a member to come out and participate. Also, we are going to, on next Sunday, June the 12th, we are going to have a celebration of life for our beloved Miss Bernie due to the loss of her husband, Carl Drews. It's going to be held at 3 o'clock, and the service will also be live streamed for those who won't be able to make it out. And in lieu of flowers, she has asked that donations be made to the St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital or in Memphis, Tennessee, or the Martin L. Drews Memorial Scholarship Fund. So if you are available next Saturday after service, I'm sure she would welcome you coming out and supporting her at the loss of the love of her life.
Now's the time that we welcome the youth into the sanctuary. We have a special ceremony today, which I know you are absolutely going to love. So the children are on their way. Let's start singing them in.
We are walking in the light of God. 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 We are walking in the
Light of God, we are walking, walking, we are walking, walking, we are walking in the light of God. 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 We are walking.
And now they are sitting in the light of God.
Walking.
Lisa Carter, our youth education director, is going to step up and say a few words and let you know what's going to be happening in a few moments.
Thank you. Oh. I still have 2 earrings. Good morning. This is a special day for us. We do this every year because this is our graduation time for the YOUers, some who have started with us from birth, some who have started a month ago, but they've come up through all of our youth ed classes and such, and now they're graduating from high school, and it's time for them to graduate from being youth members of Unity Renaissance to being the adults in the community. And to make that, help you see that go through and tell you a little bit more about them, I'd like to introduce Ed Rosequist, who you know as their lead sponsors for the YOU.
Good morning, everyone. I want to thank Lisa Carter as our youth ed, but I also want to bring up Rochelle Martinez and Lisa Smith, if she's here, as other sponsors to help me with the presentation for our graduates. You know, we have 3 graduates that are graduating from YOU, and you know, it's been tough for them. The last 2 years have been tough for our graduating seniors. They have certainly been resilient and very positive around all the COVID challenges and the school closures and all those things, and I'm just so proud of them. I want to first acknowledge Isabel Myers, who is not here, I do not think, but Isabel is graduating with honors from Grassfield High School in Chesapeake. She has been in Unity all her life. She has been involved in all types of dance through her life, and she truly loves animals. You can go next slide. You can kind of just pulse through all of those. And she also loves everybody around her. Her positive compassion exudes love and acceptance. She has been a YOU regional representative for our eastern region during the difficult years of COVID, and just stepping up recently to support the most recent spring rally. She helped lead the 3-day event. Isabel is looking forward to moving on and going to Tidewater Community College, but going to one of the big universities here in the very near future, which is awesome. Our next YOUer is Cheyenne Spivey. So Cheyenne, come on up. Cheyenne, you can watch your pictures at the back of the room. Okay. Cheyenne was a first time at our most recent spring rally, but she's been a regular attender for our YOU classes. She's graduating from Kickitan High School in Hampton, Virginia. She's a singer and been a performer all her life. She was recently recognized by the American Music and Dramatic Academy as a VIP and the Academic of Art Institute, who's very interested in her work in music. Cheyenne has been accepted to the 2 colleges she has applied for, Randolph-Macon and Virginia Commonwealth University, and we'll see what she takes on as she's accepted, or she's received scholarships to both universities, so congratulations. And Tyler Todeschi, come on up. In there. Tyler is graduating from Kellam High School in Virginia Beach. As many of you know, he's been very involved in the field of sound engineering and has been working in that capacity in Unity Renaissance. He's led all the sound here at the church for over a year. He also does sound engineering for groups locally here in Virginia Beach. In terms of scholarships, Tyler was awarded a 4-year Posse Foundation scholarship to Cornell College in Iowa, where he plans to study sound engineering. So I'd ask everybody stand, please. All the youngsters too, stand up, hold your hands up. We're going to do the unity blessing. We love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ in you. So together, YOU grads, we love you, we bless you, and we truly appreciate you, and we behold the Christ in you. We love you, really, really love you. So, YOU grads.
There we go again. All right. Would our YOUs and Uniteens who've been in class come on up here, because now we need to do, little ones, stay where you are. Let's put the big ones up here. Please not against the wall. It's always nice to say it anyway, isn't it? Okay, now, who was carrying the posters? Okay, Grayson, okay. Where are my kindergarten, first graders? Come on up. We're going to do this so we all know where we are. And Elementary, you go on up and get your spots up there now. All right. What do you want to do? Could you scoot down a little so the sign will fit? Sienna, could you scoot a little bit? You okay there, Jason? Okay, who has something to share today? Okay, we'll go right here first. Yes, sir.
So this sign represents basically like that you can be like, since I have a friend, Sienna, and basically my whole class, they're basically my family no matter what. I am a child of God in a family of God. Wherever I am, God is. Today we learned that families are very diverse, and we read a book about the different types of families. For example, some families might just have one mom or two moms, and the other one could be adopted. And we made a poster about examples of family. We have two sides of it. Hi. We learned that a friend can be a family. So if you have a friend in here, I wasn't paid to do this, then just look at them and say, "You're my family." So everybody, yeah. We learned that everyone is a family, including God.
Ready?
Happy birthday, Nana B.
Happy birthday, Ari. Ari's birthday today.
Okay, anybody in the back talking today? Come on up, Gavin. Sienna, scoot over. It's just for a second so Gavin can come through. Careful, you're gonna hit the phone.
We learned that we should be respectful to others, and that while you may not always see someone's intentions, it's still there.
Anyone else? No? Reverend DeMichael?
Who's that? Okay, let's do the prayer for protection together. And if you're so inclined to stand, that would be wonderful. And together, the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator. way. Not long ago I would have thought this was true, and now I release it and go about my day.